All righty, the light is coming in. Your light is joining us from wherever you are. Thank you for tuning to this moment, tuning your frequency. Take a beautiful breath. Allow yourself to just arrive. I want you to find a comfortable position. We're going to move enough, but to start with, we're going to find some stillness. That can easily be laying down with your legs propped up on the wall, or a ball, or a chair, or the couch. Sitting up, I'm actually going to find a little lift for my own seat, find a rising cushion or block to give you some ease in that the front of your hips doesn't have to work here. We're not trying to work out the hips or the groins in this moment.
We can sit on our box kind of like this.
We're clearing open the pelvic floor. We're clearing the foundational base. We're clearing a channel downward and outward in every direction for the earth to rise and meet us. And as you close your eyes and get still and simply imagine the sort of density, the stability, the stuff of life that is under our feet, under our seat, allow yourself to surrender to the weight of that, to the gravity of that, literal. Let your belly soften down and let the pelvic floor relax open wide. Feel even the vital organs, the bladder, the intestines, the heavy liver, the stomach, the diaphragm as it pushes downward in its expanse with every inhale. There's an affirmation, a confirmation of the earth below you. The consequence of letting go to the earth so much, surrendering into ourselves and into the planet below, there's a consequence of an immediate upward rise, an immediate lift, an immediate response of more. Once you're nourished, nurtured. Good morning, Sujata. Happy to see you. There's a reminder that when you have all the things that you need, then there's more. There's more to live, there's more to create, there's more to feel. And so as you watch yourself settling downward, outward, trusting and opening wide to the earth below you, watch that immediate desire to reach upward, to visualize a new horizon, to ascend into the fullness, the fullest of your reality. We root and we rise and we partner with earth and sky and we watch the alchemy. Sometimes it takes a little while. Sometimes we repeat it again and again and we see nothing. But we're in this class, this moment, this time, to reclaim and to remember the light that is inside of all of us. And as I was briefly mentioning before we started the recording, this sound has really moved into my life. I was playing the singing bowl, which I'll do again in a minute. But what I have noticed across cultures, across these grassroots little communities of spiritual intent, are really, there's a migration towards sound therapy, frequency healing, and biofields, and tuning. Recognizing once and for all that our nervous system is something to be attended to on the daily. And so just allowing that idea of sound and vibration to land in your consciousness and your heart, wherever it does. Maybe you don't know what that means really. Maybe you're highly attuned to sound healing. But just watch that the breath itself carries its own frequency and it matches the frequency of your mind, your nervous system. It meets that, I should say. And then over time, as you find the rhythm with the breath, in other words, pulse, that attunement, that alignment starts to happen. So I just want you to be in a comfortable place, and you don't have to sit up in meditation. You're welcome to lie down, but I'm going to play the tingshes just a little bit and allow the echo of this vibration to move through the waves of the computer, to move through your body, your nervous system, and just explore how that feels as a movement of energy to help you clear away anything that's clouding or veiling your light. So taking these moments again, maybe moving the glutes behind you a little more to reclaim the base, to find earth rising to meet you. Maybe wiggling a little, spiraling upward to reach for a touch more high above you, lifting and floating up. And as you allow yourself to fill into the edges, close your eyes and just feel into the sound. And there's nowhere to be. There's nothing to do differently. There's no wrong way to go about this. But just remembering that idea of internal space that against all odds can push and grow and heal. Returning your beingness or sense of self back to that essence of who you really are, light and love, created by the ultimacy of benevolence, unconditional acceptance, kindness, compassion. Start to allow some movements, some breath, some bigger reaches, arms up, out, climbing out of your skin, climbing through the layers, pushing against the density, and just feeling into that which is lacking of movement, stickiness, hardness, density, that sense of contraction or containment. Push the arms forward, push the ribs backward, let your head and your tail scoop more forward and inward, allowing the front of your body to hollow. Really let yourself round into that back, into that fullness of your spine. And if you're laying down, really let the tail scoop and the chin drop down. And as you feel the hollow of the belly, really allow your ribs to push and stretch, and use your hands and hold your wrists or your forearms and just give yourself that sense of, like you're waking up from a deep sleep. And I don't know about you all, but it feels as if humanity just might be waking up from a deep sleep. And each one of us means that our job is to wake up from a deep sleep when we are part of that family of oneness. Take your arms open. Again, if you're laying down, just be vector reaching from the heart, or if you're sitting up tall, lift your eyes, your heart, your chin, and then open your hands as if you were holding two cosmic hands. And that idea of softening against any loving energy, so there's no resistance to the everything, to the cosmos, to the God of light, of love. There's no resistance or hardening or doubt or cynicism or anything that cuts you off. There's only this channel, this direct line, this frequency that has called in nothing but love. Feel a little fatigue as the arms want to drop down, stretch the ribs, push the space on the inside against the outer space. And then as you feel the space of density start to stretch, reach, lengthen, open, and even more feel, breathe fully and allow the hands to meet together and draw down to the heart with a bow. Now that may not seem like much, a simple stretch of the arms and a prayer position at the heart. But imagine if you did it every day. Imagine opening to earth, watching her rise to meet you and your intent to be here. Opening your channel to sky and meeting the greatness inside, the lightness, desirous of pushing into more, into what is next. And reaching in that joyous expression, only to then return to the reverent space. From greatness to reverence, that golden ratio of humility to power and poise. You just turn in. And with all of your imperfections, seeming flaws, sense of lack, please remember, in the eye of ultimacy, you are perfect and complete as you are right here, right now. Say a moment of gratitude, a prayer for the light inside before you then reach and open it up again for just a little bit more. We're going to meet in a tabletop, but I want you to create the journey to get there. Maybe you bow, maybe you side to side, arc. Oh, let there be some sound against your bones. You're all muted, so don't feel shy. Just give yourself that sense of stretch, that long open belly, that sense of space as you push. Beautiful hands and feet. Hey, Linda, I tried to unmute you one more time. Remind me of your daughter-in-law's name. Is it Angela?
Sarah.
Sorry?
Sarah.
Sarah, thank you. Good to meet you officially again. Now I will remember. And as you come into that all fours shape, I actually want you to lower down further to your elbows. So knees and elbows, shins and forearms. Spacious, meaning top to bottom, grow longer in your foundation. So your arms and your legs can widen or lengthen. And then also wide. It's not that you want the elbows to be too far apart that you collapse into the shoulder blades, but just enough where there's space for the collarbones to smile forward and the pelvic floor to smile backward and upward. Yeah, let the yawns come into the body. That's a sign that there's wanting to be more oxygen. So stretch the lungs. Stretch open against the spaces that feel really tight so that weight on your elbows really push into rooting with the gravity of earth, and then watch the immediate rise of the light in your heart. Keeping the eyes on the upper body, keep the ears lifting upward towards the ceiling, start to scoop the chin into the throat. That's very different than dropping your head. So the ear, yeah, Sarah, the ears keep lifting, and as you bring the chin against the throat and sternum, right to left, make a half moon, pressuring, stimulating, awakening at the thyroid, the heart, the thymus. Keep pressing into the forearms, and with a soft fist, let the fingers curl into the palms and rest your thumbs in a reaching, gentle way, pushing away from the body. We call it seed hand, but the idea is that you create a little tunnel under the bottom side of your wrist, the pinky side. And as you yap, keep the palms facing each other and push forward through the thumbs, squeeze energetically your elbows together. So Ruth, if you can push into the ball or the floor, you're going to get more feedback from this. As you push your thumbs forward, start to squeeze your elbows energetically towards each other like you're squeezing into a block. Now move your ribs side to side, allowing the chin to stay connected to the throat. And with the more active tone of your hands, your forearms, your elbows, start to push a little more from the space between. And you'll notice the ribs themselves start to accordion, and then more breath, more expanse, more feeling, more awakening starts to happen at the core of the heart, the primary container of your light. And as you squeeze into those elbows and move the ribs against that squeeze, watch how you're starting to get bigger, more awake, more aware of the dimensionality that is you. Now, if you keep your elbows too close together, you'll likely get really tight in the pectorals or the front of your deltoid shoulders. So space there is important. Now, scoop the tail in a way that matches the scoop of the chin. And again, hollow the belly. The front of your body really pulls up against the back of it. And again, as you start to wave right to left with your belly now, with your navel center, with your waistline rising up and over, imagine you're just brushing against the back of the pelvis, spaciously opening against the sacrum, two sides of your hips. The scoop of your tail lets the pelvic floor itself lift and hollow more. There's a sense of tone, not on the edges, but very deep into the core of your spine, into the vertical axis, right at the base. When you open, it's not a consequence, it's an effect of your inner light shining. Start to open through the hips again, lifting your tail, and purposefully lengthen out through the heart and open your throat once again. And it goes from this closed to this open posture. Now you can speed up that process. Bow again into yourself, scoop the chin down, scoop the tailbone, and feel the hollow of your front matching the fullness of your back. Widen the shoulder blades, widen the bottom ribs, widen the back of your hips. With the tone hugging against the spine, open again. Lifting through your tail, let your butt muscles push. So beautiful, Sujata. Let the rising of your spine be a natural effect of the open roots. Now keep that open posture, sit back, exhale, and inhale, reach forward. Just a few pulses between the edges. Yep, stay down for about 5 more breaths. And as you just push back and reach forward, staying up on the elbows, staying up on the knees, lengthen and move the suspension bridge of your trunk. The long and short of it really is always to give more space for your vertical column. When you move the hips back, keep them rooted there. From there, stretch forward through the belly. Don't drop the tail. When you reach forward, open the belly and throat. Don't let your tailbone scoop under you. Keep the forward reach as you sit back again. You got it, Sarah. And your movements become a little less about the physical look of it and more about the internal feel of separating first root to earth, keep earth at earth, and then reach for sky. Stretch and open the belly. You got it, Linda. Hover up through the elbows, place your hands under your shoulders, and with the fullness inside your heart, lifting away from gravity. Meaning first you work the hands, you push down from the elbows into the earth, but then rise up from the palms into the heart and lift your knees, roll over your feet and come into what we call a crouching cat position, meaning it's very dynamic. The ing of anything, the action as if you are crouching, you are ready. Let your tail go so high that you stretch the back of your legs. And in opposition to the sitting bones lifting and spreading, and it's like you're kind of sticking your butt out and up to the ceiling, let the heels drop down and drag back the other way. Yeah. And then push into the right paw, push into the left paw, then just wake up that sense of earthen, rooted groundingness. If you don't want to put your hands on the floor here, you can put your hands on a ball or on a wall and use that same support underneath you to stretch and lengthen into your legs. Even more, Sarah, lift your tailbone like you're sticking your butt out. And then everybody sweep the belly button, the rib cage of the heart, the neck, the head way forward. And try that same pulse end to end as you root your hips back and reach your heart forward and feel that every pulse between the ends are you pushing, stretching the physical, the dense, and reaching and rising through a little more space and light. Take a little side to side bend. Even here you can bow, hollowing the front, and then bow, opening long through your central column. And after your 4th or 5th breath, just sort of moving and bicycling and pedaling into a wake through the edges, start to hop or walk your feet apart, a wide stance, and then slowly bring your hands back to meet the feet and bow over your legs in a quite passive position. Yeah, nice bent knees. Knees bending, feet widening to get your belly in between the thighs. Yeah, even wider, Linda, off your mat. Yeah, that's it. And as the sitting bones are still lifting high to the sky, spreading open, letting the pelvic floor tilt a lot, you gotta give yourself permission for that. When in doubt, we say, stick it out. Yeah, absolutely. Manually help yourself. Take your hands to the back of your knees and just palpate right into the hollow of your knee pit and try to make it more hollow. So we're going to be down here for a little bit more, Sarah. So as much as you can let your knees bend and really let your ribs go against your thighs, and that might be a wider stance. That's preferable for your body type. Good. But then with your knee, where your hands are, start to pull the length of your hamstrings up to your sitting bones and let the cheeks rise even more. So pull from the knees up, and literally, yes, I'm asking you to touch your own body, to put your fingers in the tissues and to comb and lengthen from the knees upwards to the sitting bones, to the pelvis, and allowing the glute muscles to get used to rising, lifting, and even spreading wide in order to create more support for your roots. We're going to do this again. Keep your legs wide, bring your hands to the floor, and walk back out to crouching cat with a wide stance. Now, I really want you to feel your belly go. Let it bow towards the floor. That's it, Sarah. Yeah, more. And as you allow that movement, it's going to feel totally impolite, totally improper. But as you let your cheeks lift up, start to sweep your belly further forward and bow the front of your body longer. Yes, yes. Keep lifting out of the wrists, the elbows, the shoulders. And without changing this relationship, Sit back into the legs and slowly walk your hands to meet the feet. Stay long through the belly though. Stay lifted through the tail and through the crown, and allow your spine to be more perpendicular, parallel to the floor rather than perpendicular. That's a Chidatta. Beautiful. Now with bent knees, sit back. Toe tips glued to the floor and just play an edge of sitting back and feel the backs of your legs get longer. And then bow and fold. Push your cheeks high to the sky and let your trunk fold over the thighs. Good. Toes down, bend your knees, sit back. Reach your heart forward, and grow long from head to tail. Exhale, bow again. Sitting bones lift, ribs snuggle in between those thighs. Keep the knees bent, even though I'm having you lift your hips high. Then drop them down again, sitting back, toe tips glue into the floor. But keep the knees bent, just open the pelvis to the ceiling. Belly to thighs as you keep the knees bent. This time, wrap your arms around the ankles, the lower legs, and just like you pulled up from knee to hip, pull up from heel to knee, and see how you can really double into yourself even more. Beautiful, Sujata. Squeeze your heels towards each other. Push your upper knees apart away from each other. And just take about 3 more breaths, shaking out the head, shaking out the shoulders, shaking out the length of your spine. And then please take your hands to the side of your skull, and I want you to really feel the weight of your head, heavy. Let your chin pull to the throat, the chest again, and really stretch between the shoulder blades. Keep your hips rising. Stretch the long ribs away from each other, and then from the belly wall strength, I want you to actually round yourself to vertical, meaning the head, the neck is the very last thing. Yes, you got to hollow the belly a lot. Lift the back of your heart, Sarah. Awesome. Get taller behind you as you rise into that tall, long, vertical height of your heart. Then you open the throat and just arc. Hips stay back behind, head stays into the hands, and just lean right and lean left. And feel yourself growing each side of your body, each side of your spine as you side bend up and over. Watch how the roots almost doubt your ability to be this big, this strong, this filled with light. Your cheeks will start to tuck. They will even squeeze like they're trying to hold a quarter. Let the belly relax and the butt behind you again. Bring your hands to your knees. We call it recovery. Thumbs on the inside, fingers on the outside, or you can turn your fingers, all of them inward, your choice. But as you lean into your arms and stabilize, notice where you're just collapsing and hanging. And if you don't know what you're doing yet, just feel it. Let your head go. Let your ribs kind of drop. And feel how instantly the shoulder blades squeeze towards one another, which closes off the space and the light and the love inside your heart. Exaggerate that by bowing, hollowing again by scooping the tail. Keep your arms straight, scooping the chin. Good. And there's a tiny little hollow in your elbows, but you really want to push away from the knees. Move right, move left again. Make space against the back of your body as you hollow out the front. And then you keep the hands, knees connection, arms straight and strong, and start to open. Lift your tail again, letting the belly go. And lengthen out all the way through the crown as you follow that opening. Take your right arm out in front of you and lean a little over to the left. Keep the left arm strong and think of rising up and over that shoulder. And then I want you to take that right arm like a waterfall right next to the ear. Look to the left. And really feel them reach out through your thumb side. So thumb and index finger meet, soft fist. And then you push and reach and lengthen through the whole bicep, all the way to the wrist, through your thumb. And then as you look a little more to the left angle, sweep the arm back and hold, cradle the back of your skull. Take your left hand across to your right knee. Yeah, and as you reach, so left hand crosses right knee. Now, if you can't figure out which way is up in the middle of class, you're right on target. Reach your eyes to the left corner, open up through the belly and chest, and then reach the ribs high to the right. Yeah, Linda, think about going more up before you go over. When the left hand goes to the outside of the right knee, sit your butt back more and feel the length of your belly go forward, almost like you're forward folding. Then press your head back, take a few more breaths, and start to twist and turn, spiral the belly button, turn the base ribs, the heart, and let your throat open as you lean back. Big, big stretch along the body. Inhale, come all the way up to verticals, lift your arms up high to the sky, and just shake out the arms a lot. Shake out the hands, shake out the head, shake out the neck. Shake out all of your tissues, all of your lady lumps, all of your curves. Shake out the knees, the thighs, the glutes, the belly. Take a big stretch, reach your arms out, inhale full, exhale, bow, or give yourself a hug and curl into yourself. Stay vertical, but just allow yourself to bow with the chin towards the throat, pulling the shoulder blades apart from each other, and breathe to receive this hug. Breathe to receive the love from you that only you can offer. Breathe to feel the space that's just dying for more expression, that's just eager to create, to live, to feel, to embody in this moment. Yeah, move the neck, the head, figure 8. Pull the hollow of the belly up and push against the ribs side to side. And we're going to do it again. Notice which arm is on top. Inhale, switch, open up, and then other arm, give yourself a hug, bow again. So the idea is to feel between these extremes, this contraction, this bow, this closed posture, which isn't collapsing. It's you turning into you. It's you referencing the power you have. It's drawing on the reserves that have accrued in your spiritual bank account. So then as you open up, go with it, stretch your arms, reach up, take those 2 cosmic hands that are always there, ready to help you, support you, reaching, look up, open up, and then send your butt way back, lean out over a cliff, but don't let your toes lift. When you hinge at the hip crease, send your butt back and lift up through your cheeks, sitting bones high, and then touch your hands to the earth, so light with the longest trunk that you've found so far. The belly bowing forward, the legs fully taking the weight, just allowing the fingers to brush the earth, and then sit your hips back and wide to the right, back and wide to the left. And just imagine with each sweep of the tail, you're pushing out and then broadening against the widening of each half of your pelvis. Yeah, there are 2 butts. There are 2 halves. There are 2 cheeks pushing away to create more stable, strong relation to your glutes. Bring the hands behind the knees. Keep your toe tips to the floor and pull up on your hamstrings, pull up towards your cheekbones, and feel how that, or your sitting bones, your cheeks and your sitting bones, and feel how that allows you to fold your hands, fold your ribs over your thighs a little bit more, lengthening through the inseams. When you stretch your hamstrings, you got to think, are you stretching the outer, the middle, or the inner hamstring? Really press through the big toe, lifting through your sit bones. You'll feel the inseams stretching a lot. One more time, hands to the head, and it's the slowest motion. The slow rise, lifting 1 vertebra at a time, hollowing the belly, pulling the waistline up to lift the bottom of the ribs as high as you possibly can. As you get about 2/3 of the way up, use your feet to move your hips back again, and then really feel the growth. When your pelvic floor opens to earth, but back, that's when you can start to reach new heights. Keep your hips positioned behind you and let the whole of your spine rise up. The best way to keep your hips positioned backwards is a bend in the knees and a really strong forward push with your feet to position. Arc right, arc left, and watch the sort of audacity of your heart trying to reach for a little bit more, trying to push into a new expression is so unfamiliar to many of us that our cheeks are going to come up underneath us and cut us off from our source. So don't let your cheeks squeeze in fear. Untuck the pelvic floor and watch how you grow from there. With the feet, push your butt back, keep your belly long, hands to knees again in recovery, and we start for second side. A wide stance here is so available, which allows the belly to start to drop forward. We say bow forward because we don't want you to just collapse the belly. Go for the very opposite. Bow, chin, tail, scoop, and feel how the hollow of your belly at the middle supports this. Strong and straight arms and push ribs right and left, and you're just carving out more space, carving out more of the density in order for the light to shine through it. Good. Now, when you open again, don't drop into your shoulders. Push the butt back and feel how long can you grow from there. You got to give yourself permission to lift your cheeks up high and let the belly bow forward in this undulating double S wave of your spinal column. Reach the left arm forward. Think the other direction. Sit your left butt back. And then as you arc over your right shoulder, root and rise, find a few pulses. Feel all of this stretch, lengthen, open from groin. Reach through your thumb, look to the right corner. Good, Linda. Now lift up through your tail. Feel how when you push your knee and hand together, your butt will go back more. Let it go. Let it go back and up through the cheeks. Sweep, sweep across the body. Take the hand behind your head and lay into it. Right hand, left knee. As it crosses, use it to stabilize more of your reach. So left hand goes on the outside of the right hand on the outside of the left knee and thigh. Squeeze the feet to stabilize your edges, but then push out against your hand. Feel your leg bones push apart, and there, the roots, the foundation, the earth will rise to meet you. When you tuck your tail and scoop, you cut yourself off from her source. Lean a little more to the left, to the right, head back. Don't just turn your chin, turn your bottom ribs, turn your belly open as you twist to the sky. Think about going more up as you go over. And then when you unwind, you get 6 inches taller. Thigh bones back, keep your hips behind you, stretch your arms, V-vector, reach right, reach left. Open up and even go in towards more of a back bend, but don't let your pelvic floor close. Watch how easily those cheeks try to scoop under you, and they'll be sneaky. They'll make it feel like they're working, but in reality, they're cutting you off. Put your hands against the knees again, long belly recovery. This is a beautiful place to return to in your life. Find a countertop, find a fence, find your own body, lean into yourself. And then just feel the relax, the opening, the sort of dropping of the diaphragm. Let your belly go forward. Yeah, keep your arms straight when you do that. And the back of your ribs, exactly, don't collapse. Now just close your eyes and breathe. When you inhale, it is the downward push of your diaphragm, the dropping, the rooting, the absolute connection to the downward force that then rises through the lungs, the breath, the spine as you fill. Don't allow the collapse when you breathe out. Get used to the space inside. It's so easy when we exhale to just close the container, but keep the space as the contained more spacious, more precious. Take right hand to the floor, butt back, take left hand to the floor. Keep sitting back as if I'm holding onto your legs, your roots, and then crawl yourself forward, one hand at a time, dome, to fully connect your palm to the floor and feel how long your belly can get while your hips stay rooted. Imagine the push backward at the tops of your thighs allows the upward tilt of your cheeks. And then the drag down and back of your heels gives you some intensity. If your legs start to shake or quiver a little bit, you're right on target. As you crawl back out into crouching cat, pull your heart long, stretch your neck forward, and allow yourself to pulse back and forth every time, rooting stronger and rising more. Keep your throat open when you sit back. Keep your tail high when you reach for more. Good. Grow long, inhale the heart through the arm bones, and then pivot. Take your knees to the right, send your hips to the left, and drop your left ear to your left shoulder. Really turn your feet 90 so they point to the right side of your mat, and then come up onto right hand fingertips, not to bear any weight there, but just to use the hand and floor together for traction. Pull your heart forward, Lean back, open your throat, and then take the top of your left foot to the floor and lower your left knee down behind you. Now, as you take some of the weight out of your wings in a in a humble cat position, so keep the right foot a little bit to the front of your space, Sujata. Yeah, more toward me, bend the knee at 90, and then kickstand your left foot a little wider. The bottom foot wider behind, you got it. With the top of your left foot on the floor, you'll get more access to your glutes. So point through your toe tips, take the top of the foot, flush the left foot. The top of the foot touches down to the floor, and then hollow the front of the left ankle. You never want to flex your toe tips, because that actually disengages your hamstrings. That's it, Sujata. And it's kind of like you're holding a pencil with your toes and a marble with the dome arch of your foot. Bring your right arm over like that waterfall, right by the ear. Turn your eyes to the left. Yeah, look down to the floor and really feel the line from the right hip crease up through the armpit, through the right thumb. Slide the hand behind the head, and as you lean into it, take your right elbow way forward, opening to the top of your space. Yeah, you got it. Notice how the more you open and lean into yourself, the heart like a hammock, lay into it. Watch how that butt tries to scoop under. Push forward through your right foot and sit your left butt back and wide. Beautiful, Ruth. Let it feel so good. Inhale, reach the elbow to the top of your space. Exhale, dig right. Sit your butt back and wide to the left. Yeah, Sujata. Take the pulse back and forth between earth to sky and arc your ribs up high like the light shining diamond that it is. Open the space in the middle even more. 3 more pulses. Back with the hips. Reach through the heart. And just feel yourself fighting with, which way do I go? She's asking me to go in both. No, I'm asking you to go in every direction possible. Root back with your hips, rise through the head, arc high through the ribs, lean back into your heart. There's every which way, 360 you can open, feel it, let it shine from the inside. And say, just as you are, just arc your ribs higher, lift your left knee. Reach your right hand back to the floor and pivot yourself through center, back to crouching cat, coming back out the way we came in. You got it. Now into this long space of between your tailbone and your head, feel your belly bow forward and your heart reach forward more. So really let your chest pull through your arm bones, Sarah, like you're doing a back bend. When your chest pulls forward, that way, yeah, your butt's gonna lift up higher, your belly will get longer. Believe it or not, that's gonna be so soothing for your spine. Now pivot with this length, your knees to the left, your right ear over its shoulder. Keep rising through those ribs as you take the left hand to fingertips and a few pulses. Feel a little more spacious in the crouching cat position, more strong as you launch over your bottom shoulder. And then you keep the upward rising even as I ask you to place your right foot to the floor and then your knee. Lower down slow with control so that you connect and honor the earth below, but you don't just get codependent and collapse into it. Sweep that left arm all the way overhead, all the way bicep to ear, look to the right. And as you press thumb to index finger, reaching through that soft fist, feel the whole line of your body extend, lengthen, and open as you breathe for more of it. Take the top of that right foot on the floor, squeeze the bottom arch, and hollow the front of your ankle. It's just like you're dragging your mat forward with your foot, but then activate upward to the glute. Feel the connection, root, tip to hip. And then sweep the hand behind the head and really feel your heart like a hammock, lay into it. Watch your chin doesn't overly twist up to the ceiling. Instead, keep your sternum and chin in line and look to the front of your space. Yeah, Sujata, feel the opening of your neck there. Now root and rise without closing any of your vertical column. Meet yourself as you pulse back and forth right in between these edges of extremes, earth and sky. Let your breath influence the depth of every pulse. The top foot digs as you sit back into your bottom hip. And then just feel the trust, the leaning into the self that allows you to get lighter and so much that the right knee hovers. Reach the top arm up and over, touch the floor and pivot back to crouching cat. Up and through center. Beautiful. We're going to come on down after this. One more crouching cat position. If you are free and wanting more, please go right away into your handstand practice. You can also grab a ball and do some back bending here. Otherwise, I want you to stay in crouching cat and try to bicycle pedal into the floor, looking for more lift of your tailbone. It's really easy to bicycle pedal with your ankles and knees. I want you to move your legs less and really pedal with your butt, with your pelvic bowl. So it's a different sense of push from the legs when you just reach the ankles and knees into the floor and move the lower legs a lot. I want you to keep your heels dragging back and down. And as you lift your cheeks up high, pedal into the floor with the intent to awaken the whole of your legs. The hamstrings get longer. The sitting bones lift higher. And you use the pressure of the floor and your foot together to awaken more density. If you feel good here, sweep your heart forward and then just think light thoughts and hop wide. Keep the ribs and the hips lifting, hop narrow, and really think hop. Hop wide, hop narrow, and try not to land like a 10-ton elephant. You're all light beings. It's easy now. It's time to remember. Hop wide, hop narrow about 5 times without pausing, and push the floor away from you the whole time, so much so that it makes sense to just fly. After your last one, pivot your knees your favorite direction, sit back on that hip and slide onto your side. Roll onto your back. Come all the way down. Let the earth meet you as you open your back body. Open the natural curvature of your spine. Mound your glutes with your hands. Toe tips stay connected to the earth. And once you've pulled your glutes up and in, really notice how long the belly can get and your low back is fine. If you feel a little grip in your low back because you're new, because this is foreign, because you're still exploring this mobility, this range of motion, trust, reach your arms to the ceiling, and without flattening your low back curve, bow to yourself. Hollow the solar plexus. Feel the chin. You can keep your head on the floor, but just bring your chin towards your throat. Yeah, and feel how that immediately gives you more push through your wings. Take those 2 cosmic hands and let them reach out through your biceps, through your thumbs, and sway right and left with your arms, broadening the back of your heart side to side, all the way from the bottom ribs, from your diaphragm. Make the back of your heart widen. Notice how the back of your ribs swell and expand and your lumbar curve still free and light. Now rotate your thumbs out, rotating externally through your biceps. On a big breath in, feel your belly lengthen, reach your arms overhead and take all of your fingertips to the floor like you're playing the piano behind you. That's it. Elbows bend, finger touch the earth. And then make every knuckle, as you touch the floor over your head, make every knuckle bend and articulate and activate the very center of your palm. Draw down against the floor with your hands and realize the rising action of your ribs. When you pull down on the right arm, the right ribs lift and lengthen. As you drag down on the left, feel your left belly stretch out of your hips. And imagine you're literally climbing. Pull right, pull left, and stretch the sides of your body open. Notice that gives you rise and length to the upper body. Now, barely hover your heels. Just as if I could slide a quarter underneath, not any higher. Keep all 10 toes pressing. And with your hips in power, bicycle pedal into the floor. Don't let your tailbone scoop. Keep your feet in the connection. Don't let them lift. Just imagine the floor is the pedal and you never want to lose that connection as you push with your hips in order to rotate and cycle in that way that keeps the feet right where they are but you just wake up the whole of your legs. So don't even move your feet against the floor, or don't even move them back and forth. Just press them down and imagine you're trying to bicycle pedal the floor itself. The pedal is the floor is the pedal. And as you activate up the back of the legs, pull on your arms again and literally make space at the place where you think you are the most dense, in the core, in the solar plexus, in the belly, where all of those vital organs live and heavily rest inside the torso. That is the place that loses its remembrance of light and love. That is the place that gets contracted and smaller and more crowded as we age, and over time, life pushes in on us. Just take these last few minutes. If you want to lift your feet off the floor and bicycle pedal in the air, you can, but not at the expense of your hip flexors overworking or your low back over gripping. When the feet float and hover off the floor and you bike pedal in the air, you're actually pushing and pulling. One lengthens out as the other draws back in. And really feel how, as you pedal with resistance uphill at the highest gear, dragging the toe tips against the pedal and pulling the arch of the foot backward towards you, you get the whole of your legs to activate. You can bicycle pedal over to the right corner, twist your knees. You can pedal over to the left, turn the belly, keep the elbows hugging in. Keep drawing on those fingers to open the heart and the throat. Just take about 3 more breaths. Stretch and lengthen those legs in your bike. Reach, and then hands to knees. Holding your legs with your straight arms. Rock side to side. And roll on the spherical shape of your heart. With straight arms, push your knees, pull your shins, and open the pelvic floor. So it's tilting your butt, stick your butt into the floor, open the throat. And you just rock side to side. So you can hold right at the kneecaps or right below the kneecaps and push forward with your shins and watch how the belly can breathe that much more. Take your arms one more time to the ceiling. And twist at your navel, knees and hips to the right, arms and ribs to the left. And then switch, arms and knees to the left, arms and ribs to the left, hips and knees to the right. The idea is to even here get longer and longer and longer in between earth and sky. And then you can go back to freedom. You can hold your ankles or feet in happy baby. You can do anything else. Feel like you could give yourself a big hug before you come into your final resting shape. And as I mentioned, I'm gonna play the singing bowl for a little while, so you can bring a blanket or pillows or put your feet on a ball or anything that really allows you to fully surrender, but not collapse. Collapse is when we actually close ourselves off to the magic, to the miracles of the energy of the universe. We tend to shrink inside of this container and let the density take over. Really, what we want to be now is more comfortable with the lightness, with the space, the levity. So even in a resting posture, your belly is long and open, your pelvic floor is wide and safe, secure with yourself, to really let go of any external fatigue or tension. It's like we open up our tickle spots, the throat, the sides of the neck. Let your arms be a little bit wider overhead or out to the sides, and feel your side ribs, the armpits, even the backs of the knees and the feet. Feel a complete surrender through the eyes, the lips, the nose, forehead, the scalp. Let your breath really go against the skin as you expand the belly, foundation, roots. And just call yourself back home. Know your frequency, signal you're transmitting. Not one of magnetism that wants all of you. Every aspect, every jagged edge, every memory, every year, every truth, every hurt, every sorrow, every joy, every love. Cry yourself back home. Just breathe. So often this season of light is overtaken by the artificial light, or the shininess, or the bedazzled attraction of external impetus, three-dimensional heaviness that pulls you away from the meaning. To remember the light that lives inside of you, the star of your soul that exists beyond time. And with the stress perhaps of the holiday behind us now, this runway to a new year. Let this quiet moment with yourself be an opportunity to start a new intention, to bring manifested action and embodiment to your desires, backing up your beliefs through moment to moment existence. Practice coming back to the love and to the light that is you. To connect over and over again, knowing that each time you journey to source, to the wellspring that is your truth, your infinity, you get a little deeper. You reach a little bit more of you. With practice, with consistency, certainly with commitment to the highest, to the greatness inside, and with reverence to the ultimacy that brought you here. Your light shines that much more. Not only does the benefit reach into every aspect of your life, your home, you impact the entirety of the world. For that, I thank you. You can add the breath to the moment as an internal push to reach a little bit, stretch and wake up. And we'll meet again in a comfortable posture that just allows you to journey from this quiet, still place to upright in the pedestal of your own presence. Please take your time. You feel free to keep your eyes closed, move in whatever way your body is calling before you really set up that posture of regality, sitting tall through your open pelvis basin, rising up through the crown. So I think I mentioned that singing bowl is tuned to the crown chakra, Sahasrara, and there's so much of what we do in Village Well that focuses on the vertical column for a reason. And yes, there is the survival, the basin of your lower triangle, the heart chakra of your throat. But so much of this, believe it or not, is to get access to these higher realms, into the intuitive center of your third eye, into the all-knowing space of the crown. For posterity here, stretch up a little bit taller as the reminder when you reach your arms that there is this gesture to you, not only to your heart, your nervous system, your brain, but to all that is, that you were ready for a little more, that you want, that you deserve, that you know that there's more to this life than what you're seeing and what you've been given. And it is now a time where we are ready to receive that. And as we allow ourselves to trust in natural time, not impatient, not demanding of now, but just being present in the process, bring your hands together again and bow. From greatness to the reverence of the all that is. We have perhaps vibrated a little bit more today to awaken through the many layers of forgetfulness, density, disconnect, and we can look together a little bit deeper into the center of the heart. For that, we can all be grateful. And we can bow to the nowness and to the unknown of what is still to come. Thank you so much for sharing in this day with me. There is much more opportunity to play and to practice in the new year, so stay in touch. I bow with such gratitude for your presence. Let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, please enjoy this beautiful day. All my love. Namaste. Thank you all.